Please be seated. Good morning, church. Let me say that again. Good morning, church. Good morning. Right, maybe afternoon, I don't know, but somewhere it's morning. Each of us this morning was asked to reflect on our experiences at General Conferences as part of this Lenten journey through the wilderness with the Spirit. Now, this special session was my 5th General Conference. The first 2 I worked on intensively remotely, and it's the 3rd that I've attended in person. Now, let me just say a word about General Conference for folks who aren't as familiar with United Methodist structures. Paul speaks about the church as an organized community of sinners. But too often, the church is organizing its sinning. And the most organized location of sinning in the church, at least the United Methodist version of it, is General Conference.
Now you're preaching.
So I just want to put that out there and clarify what it is. And to paraphrase again one of Jesus' parables, pity the one who has attended way too many General Conferences. Better is the person that has attended just a few. Better yet, someone who's attended only one General Conference. But even better is the person who has never experienced General Conference. Now, was there anyone in the house that maybe in that moment? So when Kay and Lee asked if I would share about General Conference, I turned to the gospel for this morning. That's kind of how I work on things. Just like, is there a word from the Lord for us about what happened in February in St. Louis? I was so amazed. Do you know? I had no idea. It was from Luke, and I read this chapter, the text that Jenna read this morning. And I was like, oh my God, Luke was at General Conference. Yeah. Luke was in St. Louis. Can you believe it? So I've had this last week. I've devoted a lot of time to conversations with Luke, and we've had some amazing conversations. I don't have time this morning to share all of them, but I'd like to share, if it's okay, just a few thoughts from Luke and my conversations about General Conference. I mean, I didn't see Luke there, by the way, but we picked up afterwards. But before that, let me just say today is St. Patrick's Day. So let me wish a happy St. Patty's Day to us all. And if you do not have Irish heritage, but you know someone who's Irish, then you have the luck of the Irish, as I do, because Karen is half Irish and our kids are a quarter Irish, and so I know I'm 100% Irish in my luck. So, but isn't this a fitting day to reflect on a General Conference that was designed to exclude? There is a group known as the Ancient Order of Hibernians. Now, I like the Hibernian part, let me tell you, but the ancient part of the order part I wasn't so keen on. They, for years, excluded LGBTQIA folks from marching in a parade celebrating Irish heritage. Now, heritage is good and bad, so there's good things and bad things to celebrate, but to exclude someone, well, folks persisted. Let me just say, Irish LGBTQ folks mobilized allies and persisted, and they never stopped marching. So, what about Ireland and this Irish heritage? I don't want to take too much time, but just a word. Ireland suffered under centuries of colonial rule and brutal racism from the British. They also suffered from deeply repressive theology. And we don't go into that, that's like another sermon. But today, Ireland has an openly gay prime minister who's married, and he and his husband marched to the parade yesterday. So, if folks may be feeling a little hopeless about the organized sinning that took place at General Conference, take heart. Remember, it's St. Patty's Day. So let's look at this text again. And when I was talking with Luke, Luke said, pay attention to the Pharisees. Now look, I was in a hurry when I was writing this thing, and so Pharisees, you gotta understand, there's a bunch of Pharisees. It's not just like one monolithic group. There are traditionalist Pharisees. There are even one church plan Pharisees. Can you imagine that? Now, there's a bunch of other kind of Pharisees, but let's just focus on those two sets of Pharisees this morning. Now, isn't it thoughtful that they came to Jesus, and Jesus, I've got to reread, Luke unpacked it a little bit for me, so I'm going to help us out here. At that time, some Pharisees, maybe some one church Pharisees, came to Jesus and, look, leave this place. Herod wants to kill you. Now, the Pharisees weren't always on such good terms with Rome and the leadership of the empire, so let's translate that. If you leave, this place will be safe for us. Our power that we've carved out won't be challenged. So the Pharisees are really helping Jesus out as a way of helping themselves out. And we saw that at General Conference. There were those that felt that unity came through conformity to one set of regulations, to ritual purity, to having clear walls that excluded some, that had strong membership criteria. That's kind of the Pharisees' way. Now, the Pharisees can get a bad rap, but Jesus was hanging out with them a lot. You know, God help us. I don't know how, that's not, anyways. God help us. We need Jesus. We need Jesus all the time, but we need Jesus to help us how to hang out with folks when it's really tough and been very hurtful. So, let me cut to the chase here on what Luke has to say. So some Pharisaical delegates came to Jesus, and they said, you better get outside the bar and go somewhere else, maybe the balcony at least, but go somewhere else, because there are folks who want to throw you out. Jesus replied, go tell that fox. I'll drive the demons out myself. I heal people today, right here and now, and tomorrow, and on the third day, I'll reach my goal. In any case, I must keep going today, and tomorrow, and the next day, for surely no prophet can die outside the bar of General Conference. Oh, General Conference. Oh, General... Yeah, that's the translation of Jerusalem Bible. Oh, United Methodist Church, you who kill the prophets and stone those sent to you from me. How often have I longed to gather the children together as a mother hen gathers her chicks under her wings. But you were not willing. You were not willing. What is that place of Jerusalem for us? That General Conference. What is the United Methodist Church where prophets, queer clergy, folks that preside over same-sex marriages are to be crucified and removed from the church? Well, Luke wasn't the only one I was talking with this week. I had a conversation with Sonia Sanchez, this amazing feminist radical poet, that came to me about what was happening at General Conference. Sonia Sanchez has a book of poems entitled Wounded in the House of a Friend. What if General Conference, the United Methodist Church, our church, the larger church, is a household of friends? And we want this like dividing up like the enemies. We're the good guys and there's some bad guys over there to confront. But what if it's a house of friends and that's the very place that some of us have been deeply wounded? You know where that phrase comes from that Sonia Sanchez used for her book? From the 13th chapter of Zechariah. A time when prophets were in denial that they were really prophets, and were saying that I'm just a farmer, I'm not a prophet. And the text in Zechariah 13, verse 6 says, "And one shall say unto them, what are these wounds in your hands? Then they shall answer, those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends." There were too many wounded in St. Louis. And over the past 40-some years that we have struggled as a United Methodist Church, there have been way too many wounded. But that's not the end of the story. We have an opportunity to understand that when Jesus is talking about going to Jerusalem, this Lenten journey when we're in the wilderness, the unity doesn't come from conformity. It doesn't come from blocking agreement, diverse opinions. It comes from the Spirit. Remember that image of the mother hen? Mother God brings us together through her Spirit and wants to gather us. And if anybody who knows chickens, they're modeling themselves like human beings, of running everywhere. Can I just say? So they're modeling themselves like humans, of running all over. And the mother hen, Mother God, is trying to gather us together. All of us. Not to silence us, but to allow the prophetic voice to come through. The wings, her wings are there to offer love and protection. Protection is not that danger goes away, not that fear and uncertainty goes away, but that we're not alone. God's Spirit is with us. And you know what? God's Spirit was at General Conference. There were rainbow wings of Mother God all over the convention. They were in the balconies. They were inside the bar with the delegates. They were outside the door when the guards had locked us out. The rainbow wings of Mother God were sharing the Spirit to remind us that we're already one, even as we're busy wounding one another. Now, I've probably gone past my 3 minutes. But if it's okay, I'll just finish the story here. Just one more minute, I think. So with those rainbow wings, what are we going to do in this context? Jesus says, but you were not willing. Look, your house is left to you desolate. When we turn away and shun the rainbow wings of Mother God, the Spirit that is so inclusive that all of us are invited to be together, we are left with a house and a denomination that is desolate. Now that's not the end of the story. I'm so sorry that we always read these things in like little truncated things, because you know what happens in the 14th chapter? Jesus is having dinner at a Pharisee's house. So keep that in mind. Go back and look sometime, and we might ask ourselves, how many of us can join with Jesus in continuing to break bread, but not agreeing, not being silent, not letting the prophetic be sacrificed, and not standing aside as sisters and brothers, siblings are being wounded, but to still break bread. And that's what I invite us to this morning. That, as Zechariah said, And as Jesus invites us with this engagement with the Pharisees and the Pharisee in ourselves, don't try and exclude. But Zechariah also says it's not by might, nor by power, nor by the number of votes at General Conference, nor by the number of bribes, nor by the number of irregular votes, nor by the citing of Robert's rules, nor by the book of discipline. That is not what's most important. It's the loving wings of Mother God that is in each one of us. Will we reach out to embrace, love, and protect one another? Let us pray. Lead us, O Holy Spirit. Bind us together in this journey of Lent and in our journey as a church, that we may follow Jesus.